So my niece asked me a question recently. She said to me, what advice would you give to young people who are dating? And I was stumped. My experience with dating was very limited. My parents were super protective, and in all honesty, I think I was a bit of a late bloomer. I didn't really get interested in boys until I was close to my 20s. Ooh. And by then, the field had been played. And I found that I had no way to socialize with people in terms of people of the opposite gender, and I was super awkward. And then came the early 20s to mid 20s to where I currently am now, which is still mid 20s. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Where my family members then turned around and said, hey, so when are you getting married? When are we getting grandkids? And I turned around and I said, well, around about the time when people were out there scouting for their would-be partners, you had me here at home. So unless you have a magic fairy that's gonna make Prince Charming appear out of thin air, you're shot and it's your problem. So when my niece asked me this question, I could only answer it from my viewpoint. Let the records show that if ever I have children, they will not see this video because I will lock them up until they are 21 because I'm that mom. But it's really interesting that at the ages of 20 and onwards, our parents and elders will start asking us when we're getting married, and yet in our teenage years, when we're really at the prime of who we are and figuring out who we are, we're not able to, or we are banned from engaging with members of the opposite sex. Now, I love, or rather I love the way we have these cultures and paradigms. Men are trash, women are this, guys are that, and I have no opinion on that, if I'm truly honest, because I take it on a case-by-case basis. So give merit where it is due and give crappy credit where it is due. The main piece of advice I would give is, especially for young women, is guard your heart. I know we've heard this and it sounds relatively simple, but it's not. When you meet a guy, whether you're in teenage phases or you're going into your 20s or whenever, and he's rocking the latest, I don't even know what the labels are, I feel so old, I don't know, but the latest whatever, and you know, he's got the flashy car and he tells you you're beautiful and he tells you you're the most amazing woman he's ever seen, I would flutter, like my heart would just be like, oh, take me now. So I understand, you know, for women we get head over heels and we fall head first with our hearts. And the one thing that I've learned is whenever we get into any sort of relationship as women, especially into a relationship with someone of the opposite sex, we need to realize that we're wired differently. Again, this is something that we know, but it helps to have a gentle reminder every now and again. So men can have sex with multiple women and have it mean absolutely nothing. But when you do, as a young woman, as a girl, you get attached. There are literally hormones that are released, the same hormones that are released when you are pregnant or nursing, oxytocin, which bonds you to your partner and makes you feel attached to them. That's why you'll find that most of your friends will be in relationships with guys who are bad for them, but they're so entangled. In the words of Jada Pinkett Smith, I was in an entanglement, you were in an entanglement, we're all in entanglements. And you find you can't dig your way out. I said this to my niece recently, and I said, when you go into the dating field, date like a man, with your head first. When you meet a prospective guy or someone who says they're showing interest in you, get out your checklist. Get out your checklist of red flags, of things that you will not accept. Get out your checklist of the behavior that you expect. and start being an analytical, scientific wizard. That's the best way I can put it. Put your heart in a corner. Tell the heart, hey, you know what? This is not your time. Not today. Today, you can go sit in a corner and lock it up. Guys, I know the heart would be like, but he's cute and he said and he called. And no, none of that nonsense. No foot nonsense here. Put that in a corner and actively analyze and assess this person. Start noticing little traits about their habits. For example, if you stop talking to them at 9 in the evening and it's 11:55 and they're still online, who in heaven's name are they talking to? Is that a red flag? Is it continuous? How open and honest are they in terms of discussion? Ask the difficult questions, the tough questions that no one wants to ask. How many sexual partners have you had? Do you use protection? What are your values? Do you want to build or start a family in future? Do you want to have a career? Do you want to have a trophy housewife? Are you happy with the woman who wants to pursue a career? These are the things that you need to ask and to actively seek out, because at the end of the day, no one is looking out for you. And as someone who is a hopeless, and I say this with all that I am, a hopeless romantic, it's been the hardest thing for me to do, to learn how to look at a person from an objective lens and actively analyze them like I would a product, like my phone. I would go and read the website. I would go and check the rating from other users. So if you can get their exes and find out all the deep dark secrets, or family members who are good and close and will tell you the truth, that's good too. And I've also been asked, does that then count as stalking, or is that not wrong because you're going into someone's private space and all of that good stuff? And to that I say, especially to women, when you get into a relationship with someone, you as a woman have every right to protect yourself, especially if you're looking for a partner and someone to raise your children with. You cannot choose your children's parent unless you want to choose. And what I mean by that, got lost there in a second, is your kids cannot choose their father, but you can choose their father. And the traits that this individual will exhibit in line with you, in line with how they treat you, whether they respect you, whether they are decent, whether they are loyal, whether they are honest, will transcend to your children. So all of us have baggage in terms of how we were raised and the horrors and the struggles and what we faced and the strife. Ask yourself the question, would you willingly put your child through any of that? No. So when you are looking at relationships and you are looking at potential partners, you could be pursued by 3 guys at once. Fair game. You're not married. You're not gonna elope tomorrow. Objectively assess them on the basis of their behavior, their character, their friends, their traits, according to the set criteria and the set mandate that you want. Take physicality aside altogether until you are absolutely sure that this person checks out. Be Dora the Explorer. Look out for red flags. Look out for traits and behaviors that are unacceptable to you. If you find, for example, that he said a comment about how you've gained weight, and you find, oh, well, yeah, no, he's just joking. No, he isn't. Have a discussion about it. So, wait, babe, what are you saying? Are you saying that if I gain a couple of pounds, you'll dump me? Or are you just joking? Or you just, hear me out. Asis, kuluma sis, qat, ubusiti. Ask these hard questions, because love is not enough. Love is only the basis, and even then it's a flaky one. Getting into a relationship with someone, marital or otherwise, will take honesty, will take difficult conversations, will take loyalty, will take respect, will take all of you, and it will take hard yards. So you need to figure out the big stuff. So in closing, what I'll say is, whenever you're thinking about dating, put your heart aside, put your body aside. They need to work for that. You don't just give it out, babe. And actively assess, objectively, scientifically, analytically assess whether that's a good match for you. So don't fall heart first into relationships. Fall head first with a mind full of wisdom.